best of 5 in the top right side. We got ourselves a blue Zerg, a Freak of Freaks, ARMANI. What are they talking about? No. Muchu. Is that the choo sound? It's hard to say. Anyway, bottom left side, red Protoss, Alpha X, ZOUN. Just as I'm doing this, of course, trying to decipher the Korean lettering, Duolingo is like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. It's like, yep, thank you, Duolingo, thank you very much. Shouldn't you be learning Korean? Well, yeah, I know. Trying my best. Should get back on that horse again. It's a lot of fun being able to kind of say the things that they write down. And eventually, hopefully, I'll learn the definitions of it as well, right? First I'll learn how it sounds, then I'll learn the words, and then I'll learn sentences, then I'll learn the sounds again, because I've probably forgotten at that point in time. And then we'll keep rotating through those 4 steps in order to eventually, you know what, be able to speak Korean like a young infant child. And we should be good. We should be well on our way at that point. Regardless, what's going on here? What's going on here? Nothing really, actually, is there? It's just macro openings. Bit of a base blockage. Can get a bit scary when you're up against ZOUN, because he loves himself a bit of a depth aggression against the Zergs. He is bloody well good at it as well. Gotta keep your eyes peeled. Not make a single misstep against this youngster, the new Protoss on the block. Because his micro is pretty darn impressive. Instead, though, he is gonna go for the Stargate play here. I'm gonna wonder if that is for the Void Race, if it's for the Phoenix, or just a bit of Oracle aggression. Have to keep our eyes peeled, of course. See where he wants to take it. So has a probe hidden on the map as well. Suspicious looking little fella. Might just be trying to get a rescout off at some point. See if there is that second base coming down. Well, the third base, I should say. But on the second base location. It is going to be Void Rays as a starter. At least a single Void Ray. This is the fun thing about the Stargate, I find, that, you know, it can be so incredibly diverse. If you make the Twilight, you go for the Adept Glaives immediately, you know, alright, it's going to be Adept Glaive attack. The Void Ray here, even though it does get scouted, I mean, it doesn't really tell you much. It could be more Void Ray, it could be that we have an Oracle overall still behind this, it could be that we're having a Twilight Council behind this. There could, like, so many different things that could happen. It looks like, you know what, it's just those 2 things exactly, so bit suspicious here. But also, right, it could just be another Stargate, it could then go into the Phoenix, it could go into more Void Rays. I think more Phoenix here would be a bit of a weird jump. Would be more likely to then make a first initial Phoenix and then take yourself into those other Phoenixes. But maybe that is a nice way to maybe catch your opponent off guard, right? Just suddenly have a fleet of Phoenix. A fleet of Phoenix. Oracle gonna try to put some pressure on the left side. There is that Adept Glaive attack coming in. As we have ARMANI going for the Baneling Nest. So no Roach Warren just quite yet gonna be constructed here. Now we have a first initial status trap just trying to be a bit annoying. ARMANI not gonna fall for it though, of course. Already looking at that location, it seems. Layer attack on the way. Baneling Nest finishing up. The basis of ZOUN, there is not much happening either. Alright, a good amount of depths here on the right side. As more of them are coming in. I think that circling did get the scout off there, right? Actually, no, actually. That's a big no-no. Alright, then this could become quite problematic. He is making a lot of zerglings, but are those zerglings still going to be enough? We need to have banelings with this. We need to have banelings right bloody now. They are in production, but the adepts already on top of the natural base right here. The Oracle coming in as well, sniping at those drones that are trying to run away. Okay, the adepts, they are in a bit of a shambles there with the zerglings around, but so far 10 workers killed off. This is only off of the 4 gateways as well, guys, so keep that in mind. Now trying to trade out against those screams, keeping the banelings back. That's a good way to do this. The 4th base of ARMANI actually getting kind of low. The adepts going to continue targeting that. They will not get it, but they will get it very, very low. And now the Void Ray comes in. Prismatic alignments. Yeah, there's no chance that's going to stay upright. And the bases here, look at those banelings not quite being able to find anything. The Oracle still running amok as well. Making a mockery of the entire Zerg race. Let's see. That's a bit unfortunate for those links. There we go. Now getting into good positions. Denying that drone from becoming a hatchery as well here. ZOUN having one hell of an opening. Ahead now with 16 workers. Not too far behind on the army count either. And yeah, that is looking like it could become quite a bit of a hassle here for ARMANI to make a comeback happen in this game right here. This is a good start though. Of course, we have a force field available in case it's necessary. I think that's a shield battery as well. Yeah, shield battery on the way also. But yeah, there's a great bit of aggression there from ZOUN. ZOUN's pylon here is still not being scouted. It is truly a fantastic position right there. And it is absolutely necessary also, right? Because if you do open up with that Stargate, no way are you going to get that Robo out in time together with all the adepts that you want in order to facilitate a War Prism. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to find another way around it. And that another way around it for ZOUN here was a pylon on the high ground. Warping in those adepts also continuously on the high ground. That's quite a bit of discipline that is required, but it's smart because that keeps this pylon hidden for much longer. If you warp in over here, you know, it's possible. It's a little bit shorter of a walk distance, but at the same time, much more likely to get scouted that way. Mucho more likely. Banelings. And a little bit of a Ling run by. They could actually maybe do something. There's only a single adept here. I know he has the glaive upgrade, but still, that is not where you want to find yourself. Okay, shield battery finishing up, and that is going to be enough here. Alright, let's see the attack from ZOUN. That's a lot of sentries, actually. That's a surprising amount of sentries. It's going to do well, though, against the no Ravager play from ARMANI here. It's a good call from ZOUN to go for this type of composition. Against what ARMANI has, of course, you gotta be careful, though. Those force fields, if you don't manage to land them where you need them, things can get rather explosive. It's like shooting guns in a fireworks factory. Oh, this could become a bit of a trouble as well. That Immortal with the Adept, they were in a move command, so they kind of started slacking behind there. ARMANI moves backwards, though. Will not try to commit to that one. Into Sentry Immo. I mean, it's not even that many immortals, right? I'm used to seeing more immortals than sentries, or at least kind of a similar... Well, maybe not entirely, but I'm used to seeing more immortals here in a composition like this. A couple of adepts do get spotted with that movement here. War Prism should be able to get past those Hydras. Almost a very clean catch there, though, for Armani. We'll be able to send those Queens over. And yeah, that is a stranded War Prism right now with no particular place to go. Could try something else at some other point. Probably not the place you want to storm with High Templars there. High Templars also not the best unit to try and stop this from doing any damage. They were blocking a lot of the Stalkers and such though, so that is still a ton of those probes going down. 17 in total. A bit sloppy there, I have to say, from ZOUN. I'd like to see him just build a full wall of here, right? Maybe try to squeeze in a gateway or two. Make it more difficult for Zerglings to just get that run-in going. Sin City, a very important thing here. Oh, hallucinated Archons. Ready to try and tank the damage from the Banelings. Here we go again. These Lurkers, they are about to pop. It's all running on a short amount of time here for ZOUN. ZOUN getting his War Prism pushed backwards. Also, the third base of his is under a bit of pressure too. Huh. Do we have a Nidus network? No, we do not. Interesting. Overseers just coming in to see whether or not there is already a Stargate, or how far along the Stargate route we are, I suppose. It is coming up shortly. Good amount of Zerglings right now on the front doorstep. Shield battery overcharge, finding quite a bit of value here as well. Ooh, but we have a fight right on top of those Lurkers. The Lurkers doing so much damage right now. The entire army for ZOUN is just going to go down. Oh, that was abysmal. Not quite sure what he was aiming to find there, but what he found was just a big, beefy ball of Lurkers. And now, more than double the supply here is Armani. Should be able to just come across the field here. Actually, it's going to be very, very difficult for ZOUN to hold this, as he doesn't have those carriers just quite yet. His first 3 carriers are only now on the way. And yeah, he just doesn't have enough here. He really does not have enough. I think that is going to give the game into the hands of Armani. GG is called. That is unfortunate. Unlucky. A really solid start. Some nice overall early gameplay, but couldn't quite make it work up until the final moment there. Unlucky. Catharsis. Should we try to make a best of 9 show match between you and one of these players? Is that what you're looking to get here? Is that? Should we see how washed up they are? Or, I mean, we could ask them to go 50% as well, right? We could see if they're up for that. They might be okay with it. You'll slap them all. All right, all right. Nice. At least you have the confidence to back it up with. Alright, so ZOUN and Armani here. Game number 2 will be played on Oxide. We'll see what happens here, of course. Another great map for adept pressure, I would say. Third base is very far removed from the main base, so if you do get that the block on the natural, should be pretty darn solid. Yeah, I mean, he almost managed to hit a timing there before the Lurkers came out, but the Lurkers coming in shutting it down. The attack there, I mean, that is sloppy. That is like by no real other way to claim that. But oh well. Then again, very great stuff from ARMANI, being able to rotate all his forces continuously in a way so that just was no ground to be made for ZOUN, right? That is also something that is very important to note. It seems trivial in some matters, right? It seems like a small thing that just would almost considered as normal, but is still quite difficult. Anyway, the bottom left side, Blue Zerg, the Freak of Freaks, ARMANI. And the other A-team representative right here, he is, well, Alpha X. Red Brothers, ZOUN. Ooh, fancy cutscene. Yeah, I like it. It is pretty darn fancy-pancy. Sending out 2 probes right now and making a forge back at home. Alright. Putting all the cards on the table. ZOUN here is going to have to be careful, of course. There is that Overlord already in position. We'll be able to spot this coming down immediately. Already having a bit of a wall off, though. Let's see how that probe will do. There's no way for the probe to get attacked here, right? Unless... Oh, do it now. Do it now. Oh, he doesn't have the money. He's confused. It's like, wait a moment. You're not supposed to get through here. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's the cannon. Still makes it work. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You're kidding me. That's so rude. That is just like, alright. Imagine that. Imagine being ARMANI in this situation. You're like, alright, I did it. I held. He's not going to get the full wall block off. And then it's just like, alright, let me just get on the other side here. Let me just do it like this. Bam, forcing the cancel. I think he may even be able to get away with cancelling 1 or 2 cannons here as well. Yeah, only cancels 1. That is fine. Pylon on the high ground perhaps wouldn't be too bad, but I don't know. He could try, right? He could try. Just maintain that high ground vision so the spine won't be able to free shoot the pylon and the cannon right there, which I think may be going to happen as soon as that probe has to leave the high ground. Oh, careful. Careful, Mr. Probe. Needs to have that vision. Won't have that vision anymore. Now he's gonna need to wait for that stalker to come in. A drone on the other side of the map here. Where is he gonna build this base? Don't tell me he's gonna do it somewhere here. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. I think he may need another spine. Or another pylon, sorry. He's gonna make another cannon, interesting. There's no cancel. Huh. Cancel, cancel, cancel! Hmm. Hmm. I hate to say it, guys, but that was what feels like to be a little bit sloppy again here from ZOUN. I don't know. I mean, he's gaining a bit of an upper hand, but he's thrown away so much money with those cannons. I mean, look at this. A great start here from ZOUN, but then just things falling apart. Alright, so how do you continue onwards here as ZOUN? I'm not completely certain. I don't think you really do. He's gonna try to make a Stargate. I suppose that may keep him safe for a little bit here, but I mean, that was not a well executed cannon rush. Now in come the Ravagers. They're going to do a lot of damage. Even with that single Void Ray out on the field, that's going to take a long time. I suppose the sentry may buy a couple of seconds. But that's about it. That's about all he will be able to muster here. There we go. There's the first force fields. Immediate bile right on top of it. Void Ray, though, is that going to be enough to force these Ravagers backwards? Okay. Phew. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't let that happen, please. Okay, so now we have both these players going for an expansion. Sounds still okay on the worker count, I suppose. Is this what has me mostly worried? Although, to be fair, he is mining more. Only by, yeah, not that much. But it has been for a while. He does manage to stop the third base from going down. The Void Ray transition can just be a difficult thing to go up against after getting cannon rushed, of course, because the response is quite different. You need to get that lay attack, you need to get a lot of queens instead of the Ravagers and the Spine Crawlers. Suddenly, you need to make a full 180 turnaround into an anti-air army. Instead of the anti-ground forces. Fleet beacon here. Okay. Alright. 2 base fleet beacon. There's this 2 other gas being taken. Doesn't appear like he wants to take this very far into the future this game. No third base yet being taken by either of these players though, to be fair. So maybe this could work. Bit of a battle as to who can counter the other person the best right now. Nidus Network. Could come in quite handy in a situation like this. We don't have Overlord speed though, so let's see. He has an Overseer. Okay, the Overseer is going to be making his way across. The Void Race here. They need to realize that there's still no third base here. I think ZOUN may have already realized, right? He does not have quite enough vision here. I think there could be a Nidus right there. That is a clutch one. It's hard to say with the edge already being a little bit darker. Well, maybe you just barely can see it, but I mean the Void Ray are gonna have to spot the Nidus Network that is in the middle. A single changeling coming in right here. Ravagers, Roaches, and Queens all gonna be making their appearance here. Right in front of the base of Mr. ZOUN. The Nidus Worm in the main base does get spotted. That should be cleaned up right now. Right, yeah, nothing gonna be coming out of that one. The third base getting cancelled. That's a good call. This Overseer needs to go down though. The Void Ray needs to realize that there's an Overseer there. Otherwise that could be just a continuous everlasting threat. Going to have to spend units there continuously in a place where he cannot really afford to have those units. Right, ZOUN here, gonna try to make this work. Another Nidus Worm in the main base is being attempted. That should be taken out. Nice prismatic alignment. Kicking in. Spore Crawler slowly but surely getting closer to the front door as well. Gonna make it more and more difficult for those Void Rays to carry the battle here. We have Tempest on the way. Very interesting. I kind of like the Tempest in this situation. I'm not a big Tempest fan, but over here, I think it's a good call. It's going to force the Zerg into you instead of you into the Zerg. Interceptors, of course, as well. When you're already at the front step of war, it's going to take the carriers a while to really get the full maximum interceptors that you would require. The interceptors are going to get cleaned up as well by the spores and the Queen Forest right here. So, you know what? The Tempest, I think the Tempest, a brilliant call here from ZOUN. Let's see how they will be able to do, though. That is a lot of transfuse energy, of course. It's going to need a bit more. Oh, he's going to commit, actually, a little bit. Losing a Void Ray already. There's a couple of Void Rays immediately. Biles landing on these units. Let's see, the Void Ray struggling to stay upright. The Spore Crawlers out of the equation. Probably need to stop shooting the stuff that is not fighting continuously here with the Tempest. Queens have to rotate around that way. Alright, Tempest. I don't think there's enough of them. I just don't think there's enough of them. The Queens with the transfuse, just too good. Although, you know what? Things are starting to slowly whittle down here. ARMANI, he's losing his army. ZOUN still, of course, with a worker lead. Actually, it looks like the Queen's just not enough firepower there to really take on the air army of ZOUN. He has managed to get enough. But there is a Nidus network in the main base as well. The Void Ray is a little bit slow to pick up on the fact that is coming in right now. Zerglings spilling out. Not that many, though. Not that many at all. ARMANI has to move backwards, and that was a wonderful hold right here for ZOUN, who now has an army of 7 Tempest. And there's a G. Alright, there we go. G is called. ZOUN ties up the series there with a cannon rush that was, well, maybe one of the one of the worst cannon rushes I've seen. Yeah, it's okay, because you know what? The follow-up Void Rays. And the field attack of ARMANI there, kind of helping ZOUN out there. A fun, key little game. G. That's rough. That is rough. All right, game number 2, or no, sorry, game number 3, of course. Let's see, where are we gonna have this one take place? I think. Actually, Lightshade? Is it Lightshade? No, it's Pillars of Gold. Right. Pillars, yeah, Pillars. Then Romanticide, then Submarine. If we get there, of course. If we get there. Right now we're tied up, though, so you know what? It's looking good. Looking good, looking positive for more games, more fun overall for us to have. Yeah. The sweet smell of StarCraft 2 in the morning. The bloody experiences going on everywhere. Good luck, have fun. Whew. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Pillars of Gold. It looks very similar to Oxide, but are we going to see something similar in terms of gameplay? I don't know. In the bottom left side, a blue Zerg for the Africa Freaks. They are typing quite a lot right now. He is ARMANI. Not sure what he is talking about, but it does seem to be quite funny to Inu and ZOUN. Top right side, we got ourselves a red Protoss fighting for the Alpha X. He is ZOUN. Okay, so again, the hatchery getting blocked right here. ARMANI gonna go for that third base location. Is this the moment where we're gonna see ZOUN just completely commit to the Twilight Council? We know it's gonna happen at least once in this best of 5. I've not seen a best of 5, or I think even a best of 3 from ZOUN without a single time using that Adept Glaive attack. He's really darn good at it as well. He just doesn't want his opponent to, you know, be able to blindly counter it. So he does a lot of other stuff as well. And I still think that is his bread and butter. That is his, one of his stronger builds overall, with the stronger execution to boot. Is there any smart Protoss in the chat right now? Any real smart Protoss over here that could explain something to me? No? Alright, we'll just continue on this then. That's fine. That's fine. I'll have to ask Matisse at some point, probably. I'll scan the Twitch, GM will appear. So why is it, right, that whenever a Protoss does the block on the second hatch, it's never a cannon rush on the third location, right? It just seems like a real good maneuver overall, because it's not that much of an investment, seeing that the Overlord is never going to be able to scout it because they're slow little jellyfish. Why would you not ever, like, why is that just something we never ever see? Like, there must be a reason, right, that it just absolutely falls apart because nobody ever does it. You've seen it before from the Zerg side. What happens? What happens? Why doesn't it work? Oh, well, this is interesting. Guess we'll have to talk about this now, huh? Here I am, trying to make things interesting, and Armani ruins it all by going with a big pool of drones here, swelling through the front door. There is an Adept Glaive attack here on the way, and this is not the best thing to do. Oh dear. Oh boy. This may be a very, very quick 2-0 here in favor for Armani, guys. Yep, GG. I think it was good in HOTS, but the economy scales to a later game, making it more holdable. Making it more holdable. I'm still confused. ZOUN always dies to that. I mean, it makes sense to die against that. That's just a straight up build order loss, Sushi. Like, there's nothing you can do. If you go for the Twilight Council and, you know, for the Robo as well, and then the Adept Glaive attack, you're not gonna have enough to hold against the Link Swell. Like, even without the drones there, you're most likely dead. Most likely you'll die. So with the drones there as well, that's just it. This thing being possible is so dumb. Full wall. Even with the full wall, it is still very, very hard to hold that. Like, you still just kind of die. At least that's what Matisse tells me. That is just a straight up build order win. And I believe Matisse. I believe the coach of Alpha X is the best, wisest man in the universe about StarCraft 2. But no, yeah, I do think I agree with him though. That is just so incredibly strong against what you're doing as a Protoss then. Very, very rarely do you see Protoss win after that. Imagine if Protoss could send 3 Adepts and 6 Probes and just win the game. People would cry. I mean, sometimes... Let's try it later, you and me. I don't think I play Protoss, mate. I am not really a Protoss. In the top left side, a blue Zerg. Let's see. score right now. 2, and there we go. There's 1. In the top left side, we got a Zerg. He's blue. He's a freak of freaks. ARMANI. Bottom left side, red Protoss. Alpha X. ZOUN. That's not... I mean, that is why we see so many link floods happening against Protoss in particular, because if you do hit that Twilight Council, it is just a very, very easy victory. That's what they all tell me. Your battle is not with me here, Sushi. It's either with Matisse or any other, you know, Protoss or Zerg that I've really talked about with this. Sometimes you can still try. I mean, sure, if you have like a great extra wall and stuff like this, who knows? Maybe with some magic, but yeah, it's very, very hard to do. Ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da. Also, if you send your adept out to scout, I mean, that also leaves open your front door, right? So you're gonna have to put a probe there, overall. I don't know. Anyway, well, we're getting here. It's just Stargate play. So playing it a little bit safer. This way you can get the Oracle. The Oracle will be able to withstand the onslaught of Lings. Alright, so Void Ray will be the first unit. Should help out against any type of aggression also. If that is coming in here. Could still be the Twilight Council afterwards. That's what we saw him do in game number 1, of course. After the Void Ray. Not really a Void Ray committed style yet been seen by ZOUN here. Alright, there is a second Stargate on the way. Could be this time around to see... no extra Void Race just quite yet though, so it could be something else. No Fleet Beacon or anything crazy like that yet on the way either. Could it be Phoenix? Could it be Void Race? Let's wait and see here. More common to see the Void Race these days. Baneling Nest together with a Lay attack on the way. I think we may be seeing the Linkbane Hydra style here for ARMANI. Still a Twilight Council behind this as well. I would imagine that is going to be for the Storm upgrade later on. Doubt he's going to try to do anything here with just the Twilight. I suppose charge slots can be a little bit of a buffer force there as well. Fourth base already on the way here for ARMANI, who's taking some Hydra Den behind this as well, so it will be the Linkbane Hydralisk play. Too much stuff in the sky here to really do anything with those Zerglings at this moment in time. There is that Twilight Council charged as well on the way. So we'll be getting himself ready for the inevitable ground forces of Hydras. Looking pretty sharp here. I really like the map control that you can get with these Void Rays. Here's the first wave of Hydras now. Looking to make their appearance. Storm is about to be ready, so that's a nice, well-timed out upgrade right there. Seems to be kicking in right about now. Zealots with the Sentry and the High Templar. Let's see if they will be able to hold off this base. I mean, it would be very nice to keep it alive, of course. I think he has the opportunity to. Hydralisk actually on the run right now. They know if they get stormed, that is going to be it's going to be quite problematic. On the creep though, that is going to be a more difficult thing to achieve. And then we have a Overlord drop with Banelings starting to line up for that natural base. That is not really something you're on the lookout for very often as a Protoss player in the PvZ. Maybe he's still going to be able to spot it coming through here. Overseer, of course, also already kind of a disturbance on that mini-map right now. Surprised he's still just sitting there. Got Lurker tech on the way, as well as the Hive tech, so things are looking upwards here for our Zerg player in tech-wise. Ooh, those two Banelings. Almost getting massive connections. The probes in a lot of trouble here. They will lose quite a couple of their friends. Wonder why we barely see Swamhost in PvZ anymore. It may be because of the Void Race in this situation. Right? In a way, it's hard to make use of the Nidus. Only Serral and Raynor seem to use them regularly. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know exactly why. I can imagine it might be difficult to really get that transition perfect in a way. To not have them around anymore once your opponent goes for like a full air army. Something like that. I'm not sure. Those are the first things that jump to mind. Oh, careful! Static defense strikes again. Right, full up air weapons as the carriers are coming out now as well. Circling run by here, not really finding much of anything. He does find the information that there's carriers on the field now, though. He already has a Spire. He's starting to get the air weapons upgrades. So that is nice. On the left side, we still have the Lurkers and the Hydras, it seems, trying to make a move as well. More carriers on the way still. Now and again, a Storm does manage to land on those Lurkers, but difficult to really kill Lurkers off with Storms, of course. Is ARMANI just gonna make a push happen here? Actually, gonna set up a Spore Crawler Forest. Not a bad idea. Right, there's the Storm. I mean, not really looking to push right now. I'll be ARMANI. If ARMANI beats ZOUN, does that mean Beyond beats ZOUN as well? I don't know. It could be still a matchup thing as well, right? See where you're coming from, but Beyond probably still the favorite anyway in that matchup, so. ARMANI trying to rotate around, trying to find whatever damage he can. He is kind of getting away with the economy game of this map here. On the top left side, everything's starting to turn blue and purple right now. Not just ZOUN, that is slowly starting to turn purple and blue. Also the entire map actually. Not enough to just beat ZOUN. How many carriers do we have over here? We have 5 of them. 8 Void Rays. Still 5 High Templar underneath as well. Some solid Storms. Get out of that before too much damage does get taken by the High Templar. 2 Stalkers on a field day there as well, it seems. Warp Prism here did get spotted by that Ling. It's going to go down as well. Good pickup there. Now moving in on those cannons. Army of ZOUN moving to intercept, but as they keep in account that there's another army here for ARMANI, of course. And that is dangerously close to his other base. That is now being taken. There's the army for ZOUN completely on the right side. Trying to just zone out these Hydras. He's going to get the kill, but he's going to lose his base now because of this as well. Perhaps. I would imagine anyway. Yeah, full cancel. Not much you can do anymore over there. And he's just going to go for the base trade. A smart choice, honestly. With the way the board was set up. But at the same time, I mean, ZOUN just doesn't have as much here. In the way, shape, and form of bases. Nice yoink. We need to see the High Templars in position, of course, to try and intercept the Vipers. Feedback before anything really important gets pulled away. More harpoons coming in. Lurkers trying to zone out those High Templar. Doing a good job so far. Opening the sky a bit more for those Vipers. Feedback could occur here. Oh, big parasitic bomb actually doing a lot of damage right there. Still doing damage right now as we speak. Mostly Void Rays and Archons now remain here for ZOUN, and they do all right against those Corruptors, of course. One base fell. More aggression from ZOUN actually. On this other base, he's finding definitely a ton of damage. And recalls out of there with the bulk of his Void Rays. They are the important units here. Now starting to enter some Tempest as well into the army composition. Let's see, army supply still pretty darn close. I think that was a really killer move there by ZOUN. ARMANI will need to reclaim those bases as quickly as possible. Oh, this is not nice. Oh, move command there from ZOUN. No anticipating just a wild cluster of corruptors to suddenly appear. Those spore crawlers, of course, also still a problem. And I have to have those tempests fighting those down. Here we go again, looking for more damage onto the units. Carriers taking a lot of damage from those corruptors. Good transfusions though, keeping everything alive for ARMANI. Has a lot of Ultralisk on the fields, as well as Broodlords now on the way. Was the economic damage that ZOUN dealt too late? Because this army that ARMANI is setting up right now is looking ever so terrifying. It's going to be difficult for ZOUN really to hold his own here. But if he does hold, that should be a pretty darn good game for him then. Because there's nothing really to fall back onto for ARMANI here either. Tempest need to try and do as much damage as possible, of course, from a distance without getting harpooned. Catching a couple of queens here, always a nice bit of damage as well. A lot of interceptors getting committed to the fight, but we'll have to remake a lot of those now as well. Gets another queen. Alright, this is a battle of attrition. It's never the most exciting, but it is rather tense. It's meticulous. You gotta be careful. You gotta be very disciplined with these types of fights. Getting a Broodlord, that's a good way to kind of minimize the siege damage from your opponents here. Stopping these spore crawlers from getting in too deep, that is a good call. But look at that parasitic bomb onto the units of ZOUN. He is having trouble finding which unit is being parasitic bombed right there. My bad. Alright. Corruptors getting on top of those carrier, or the corruptors, sorry, the Tempest. Storm's hard to make work here with all those probes nearby as well, of course. 16 probes go down. A lot of the corruptors go down as well, though. ARMANI never really remade a lot of his bases, but the bases that he is remaking right now should potentially be enough to keep this going back into his favor. And still keep trading here. We'll be able to remake some of this army force now because of this. Again, ZOUN just getting a full fistful of parasitic bomb on top of most of his units here, though. Thank you, Bitterwood. Alright, supply looking rather juicy for ZOUN. Let's take a look at the income advantage, though. That is not too far apart. ARMANI managed to reclaim the base over here. Or, well, claim the base over here. The two bases on the top side that did get taken out. Still uncontrolled, uncontested by either of these players. Looks like this is the moment where ARMANI will start to try and get some stuff back into his orbit of control. Not a lot of lurkers here, or Broodlords to try and take out the static defense of ZOUN. Looks like ZOUN wants to make another run around. Try to avoid the spore crawlers for the time being. At the same time, still wary as well that perhaps as soon as he makes that move, that ARMANI will pull the trigger and just collapse in on the forces of that are still mining from ZOUN here. Okay, here we go. Void Race carriers. Everything on top of these the Spine Crawler forest. Army supply still, again, a little bit close together, but definitely in favor here for ZOUN. That means just a better army overall, especially when fighting away from those spore crawlers. Alright, ZOUN here, going uncontested still. This is going to be very difficult to make a fight happen over the heads of the Spore Crawlers, because ZOUN is just going for the natural base and then straight up into the main base. Is what I would imagine is going to be the next step here. Take out all of the tech structures. You could get the Hive, you could get the Ultralisk Den, the Infestation Pit, Lurker Den, everything that is important right there. Instead, we have a Recall trying to defend his base, doing a good job there as well, of course. Keeping behind a couple of those Archons. Just as a bit of a threat as soon as Armani tries to deal with those. Which he will have to do with his Hydras and the Ultralisk, because the Zerglings alone. Quite a difficult fight for them, of course, against Archons. This gives the opportunity for ZOUN to perhaps pick a fight with the frontal force of Armani here. That's not as well protected as it wants to be. Spore Crawler Forest, though, still absolutely standing, not being chopped down quite yet. ZOUN finding units on the left side. Some drones there, interfering with the mining. The base has been reclaimed here by Armani as well. If Armani is allowed to mine now for a couple of minutes, who knows what kind of army he will still be able to amass, but ZOUN here now also at the top right side. It does look like he is in full control, and he will not allow just free mining going on here for his opponents. Getting a lot of those overlords. Small money that potentially goes down the drain so far. No need to remake them, but well, he does need to remake some drones here. 33 workers. Looks like Armani is in the final stages here. Really just have this one fight remaining. Needs to make the best use of it that he can. I think his one shot right now is just to have his army compete with the army of ZOUN in optimal conditions, right? Together with the Vipers, his ground forces, his air forces, and all the Spore Crawlers together. Moving forward towards ZOUN's base, but even then it's going to be such a slow push without any creep really available that I'm not sure if he still has a good shot at winning this. I think ZOUN may have done it, and he may have tied up the series here. As things are just getting destroyed continuously for the Blue Zerg. Oh, he did manage to clean up this base in the top right, but I mean, bases in the bottom now getting claimed with the army of the Protoss right there. Actually, the Spore Crawlers being tangoed with on their own. Nothing here. No Corruptors, no Hydras, no Vipers, nothing, nada to help out those Spore Crawlers. There's still another little forest right there on the left side, but man, this is really dealing a blow with the win condition for Armani. If there even is one still, right? The desperation win condition. Let's see, the Storm's doing an alright job here, keeping the Corruptors low. Yeah, Parasitic Bomb also managing to land some pretty reasonable targets, but that is just too much Protoss. And not enough anti-air here for... oh, well, actually, the Spore Crawlers coming in from behind. Doing a good job there. DTs. They definitely pack a punch as well. Still Void Race remain. Yeah, GG is God. That fight went better for Armani than I thought it would, but still, of course, I mean, better than you think it would is still not enough in a situation like that. So, 4 games down. 1 game to go. The ace match will be played momentarily here. And we have these 2 boys in the ace match. Take a look. Yeah. Sorry. Bit of a stretch. The arms are feeling sore. Whew. Whew. Alright, after this we still have ZOUN versus Beyond as well, of course, guys. So we're not even after this ace match, we're still gonna be going onwards Still got some more great stuff for you in store. Let's see what happens with our Zerg and Protoss brother, though. Which one will be able to take the victory here? Of course, already for whoever loses, it's very nice to be able to at least get some extra points on the boards here, because it could very well come down to who manages to claim as many victories and have the least amount of losses overall in this bracket here, to see who gets that second place. Two of these players will advance, of course, and only one gets eliminated. So it's a funky bracket style, but it's kind of fun, right? It's kind of fun for this rumble. Here we are, 2-2 in the top left side. We got a blue Zerg player fighting for the Afrika Freaks. He is ARMANI. Bottom right side, there's a Protoss. He is Alpha X material, the red one, and he is ZOUN. Once again, going for the blockade on that hatchery right here. Yep, that is just going to have to be taken elsewhere. Tensions are building here. Comes down to one more game. I mean, this could very well mean the difference between getting yourself placed in the playoffs or not being able to participate in the final day, which will be played tomorrow. It's on a knife's edge. Delicate balance being walked right now by both these players. Here and there we had a couple of sloppy moments perhaps, but will they all be redeemed right now? Will we have a nice solid bit of aggression? It is going to be the Stargate, so no Twilight Council this time around. ARMANI, no Link Flood on the way. It will still be drones for now. A third base as well. Things are running their regular course. Staying on track. The run-of-the-mill generic Jerrys over here, doing the good old macro. I mean, the Overlord's not that big of a deal that it comes in here. Of course, you make that Void Ray particularly just to clean up Overlords. So whether the Overlord sees you, sees the Void Ray as it's popping out of the Stargate, or if he sees it over here, it's just actually more of a distance to walk for the Void Ray, right? So in a way, it's nice that the Overlord comes in here for ZOUN. It's actually kind of good for him, right? Speeds up the killing of Overlord process. No supply block though, although yeah, a little bit. A small, slight supply block right now for ARMANI. ARMANI immediately throws down the Roach Warren here as a response. Interesting, interesting. Just getting 10 links on the way as well. Thought that he may be feeling okay with just being able to drone up. I mean, to be fair, the previous time we saw the Void Ray opening, there was also a Twilight Council with an Adept Glaive coming in. Did he see the Twilight Council actually? He did not. Alright, so maybe just wanting to have a contingency plan here for the potential of an Adept aggression. that is okay. Getting back in between the pylon and the shield battery there. 2 more adepts being warped in elsewhere. Should be enough to hold their own. Alright, alright. ZOUN doing pretty good so far. But will he be able to withstand the aggression that is coming in here now for ARMANI? ARMANI, this roachling attack, it's a little bit on the later side of things. The army for ZOUN is going to be a bit tougher than it would be if he didn't go for those adept glaives, I suppose. But let's wait and see. This could be a rough one. Adepts trying to get across the field. There's no warping pylon on either side. The Zerglings here getting spotted already. It's going to give it away, and now he sees the Ravagers as well. The Void Ray already on top of it. The Queens have to rotate around here, actually. Walk backwards. That's the least, well, the thing that you want to have happen least here. Gotta be careful. Gotta play this around your shield batteries here. ZOUN realizes. Has the shield battery overcharge if it is necessary. May not want to do it on that one, though, of course, as the Biles are going to take care of it very, very quickly here. The Adepts under a lot of stress, taking quite a bit of damage there from the Queens and the Ravagers. Will he be able to hold on here? The Void Ray trying to target down whatever he can as well. The Adepts taking a beating. The Biles managing to land all right. There's finally a shield battery overcharge coming in right now. Not that many Biles remaining, but enough to get rid of the pylon. And that is potentially going to mean the end of that third base here. The shield battery is going to have to get taken care of as well. ZOUN needs more stuff to come over here. He wants to keep that base alive. He is in a desperate strait right now. A dire strait, trying to hold on. Trying to just maintain that third base. But it looks like it may not be meant to happen. Looks like ARMANI, this Ravager Queen ending attack against the Adepts. Just a little bit too much to handle. Just a little bit too much to handle here. The base does fall, and with it, you know what, most of those Adept lives that were sacrificed for this location here, not meaning that much anymore. This was still a very dedicated attack, though, from ARMANI, of course, so maybe ZOUN will be able to do something here with the Adept aggression now across the map. But, of course, ARMANI already realizes that there is the Adepts. And he has some time now to start preparing for this, of course. That should be a cancel. Yeah. So, a rough position here for ZOUN to be in. Double Stargates being thrown down behind this. Looks like he once again wants to try and get himself into the Void Ray production. ARMANI gets the scout, though. At least should get the scout. There it is. Quick clicks. Knows what's going on. Alright, yeah, nothing being found just quite yet here by ZOUN. The third base going into broken territory as well. That's not really the best thing here. As we can see, he was having a bit of a income advantage up until that moment in time. And an immediate big blue spike did appear on that graph. On the top side, we have those Adepts looking around. Maybe waiting to see where the Zerg army is and then going in for a couple of drones there. Wouldn't be a bad call. Alright, storm on the way. Did he just cancel? Okay, yeah, he just straight up cancelled those double Stargates. It's interesting moments, actually, because, well, I mean, that could mean that ARMANI went too deep into the Hydras. Instead, he didn't really go for any Hydras, so it seems like he is fully aware of what type of stuff is coming out of ZOUN here. He's once again on top of that third base. Once again, it just seems overwhelming, guys. I don't think this is going to be held eventually at all anymore. This is just going to be an overwhelming force. ZOUN had a Strong battle, had a strong showing, but it's just not going to be enough here. We're going to have to tap out and go into the final battle here. It's going to be him versus Bjorn. He needs to take out Bjorn, and he needs to take him out rather convincingly. Adapts on that third base, of course. I mean, doing something, but what really can they do in a situation like this? How much damage can you ask of a couple of adapts? GG is called. And yeah, ZOUN